Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, I'm going to react to the creepiest urban legends from America. Now this should be interesting. I reacted to, I think, a video similar to this about 2 months ago. And in that video, several people recommended this one, saying that this one's a bit better. The legends are a lot more unnerving. So yeah, we shall see. So let's do it.
Ten creepiest urban myths from America. Number 10. The water babies of Massacre Rocks. Water babies are a Native American legend of small childlike creatures that live in the waters of reservations around the western United States, states including those of California, Nevada, and Utah. They may sound cute in name, but they're anything but. Well, if they were real, I guess. One of the most prevalent cases of water babies hails from Idaho at the terrifyingly named Massacre Rock State Park. Now, legend has it that
Massacre Rock, gosh, that name. It's not very inviting, is it?
terrible famine overcame the land of the Shoshone Indians who lived at the reserve several centuries ago. Rather than watching their babies starve, the mothers are said to have drowned them in the river. As the story goes, however, the babies didn't actually drown. Rather, they grew fins and gills, which allowed them to survive in the water and fed on small fish. People have reported seeing these sprites playing in the rivers in the Massacre Rocks area. In fact, some even say that if you sit quietly at the river, you'll hear the sound of babies crying and laughing as they attempt to lure humans to the waters. That's because the babies never forgot the sins of their mothers, and as revenge, they'll claim the life of anyone foolish enough to approach the water's edge. Number 9.
Yeah, that one. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, stuff like that really, it sticks with me.
Knock Knock Road. No, it's not some kind of poor joke, it's actually a pretty creepy legend. Well, two pretty creepy legends. The first legend of Knock Knock Road in Detroit, or Strasburg Road as it's officially known, dates back to the 1940s. That's when a story surfaced that a little girl was walking along the road and was killed in a hit and run. Now her ghost is said to haunt drivers who venture there, knocking on their car windows as she tries to find the person who killed her. In another version of the tale, a car full of teenagers was said to have been out joyriding before they crashed into a telephone pole on Knock Knock Road. The car then caught fire and the teens' poundings, or knocks on the car windows, went unheard before they all burned to death, thus the name Knock Knock Road.
Gosh.
In either case, is it a coincidence that there are many creepy looking and abandoned houses along Knock Knock Road? We're not sure, but we certainly won't be hanging around there to find out. Number 8. The Grunch. By the way, no, I didn't misspeak and mean the green mean-hearted character who stole Christmas, we mean the grunch. Grunch Road is an old dirt road in New Orleans, Louisiana that leads deep into the woods and eventually leads to a dead end. Yes, pretty creepy on its own, but also down there, the grunch are said to live, a group of deformed half-human, half-monster creatures. Legend has it that a group of albinos and dwarves were forced to settle here as they were thought to be creations of the devil and thus couldn't live with the rest of society. The monsters that are now said to roam the woods are the product of years of inbreeding. Society has supposedly forgotten.
This reminds me of The Hills Have Eyes. Just the inbreeding and the half human, half monster type creatures. If anyone's not seen that movie, if you like horror, check it out.
About this group until farmers started to report finding their goats dead or drained of blood. Before long, adult humans were also going missing and reports of creatures roaming the woods started to increase. So the story goes. Nowadays, the advice is that if you see a goat who looks injured on Grunch Road, don't get out of your car. It's a trick the monsters use to lure people out so they can drain their blood. Number 7. The Bunny Man. Colchester Road in Fairfax County, Virginia is home to a popular destination among tourists. It's known officially as Colchester Overpass and appears very ordinary, but unofficially it's known as Bunny Man Bridge. Now this legend starts with the closure of a nearby mental asylum, as they so often do. A busload of inmates were being transferred to another institution when 2 of the most dangerous inmates escaped to the woods. Typical. Leaving half-eaten carcasses of rabbits as their trail, the bunny men, as they became known, evaded detection for weeks. Eventually, one of them was found dead, hanging from the bridge, and the other was never found. Some say he was killed by a train and that his ghost continues to haunt the bridge, attacking passers-by with his axe. While this version of the bunny man certainly isn't true, it is true that there is some kind of bunny man. Or was, anyway. In 1970, the Washington Post reported that a man dressed in a white suit with long bunny ears appeared in front of a couple's car in Fairfax and threw a hatchet at them.
I mean, if you were in that car and this happened to you, like if it were me, I would literally crap my pants. I would be so scared. Like, what the hell is that?
Luckily, the couple wasn't hurt, but this incident helped perpetuate the Bunny Man legend that haunts Fairfax County to this very day. Number 6. Shaman's Portal. Located in Beaver Dunes Park, just northwest of Oklahoma City, lies Shaman's Portal. But you may know it by its alternative and rather eerie name of Oklahoma's Bermuda Triangle. It's a rather apt name, to be honest, since according to this legend, people have been disappearing from here for centuries. These mysterious occurrences have been attributed to the fact that Beaver Dunes Park was built on an ancient Native American burial ground. Yep, that old chestnut. Stories about disappearances go as far back as the 1500s, when Spanish conquistadors were travelling through the area looking for gold. They then disappeared without a trace in paranormal flashes of green light, and well, disappearances continued thereafter. Now, one of the most prominent theories which seeks to explain the disappearances is that the dunes are in fact an old UFO crash site. A group in the 90s is said to have investigated this claim and found that the soil...
Do you guys think that we've been visited by UFOs, you know, like the whole probings and things like that? Do you believe that? Like, I'm not sure. Like, I do think that there are aliens out there, but whether we've been visited by them, I don't know.
Soil was abnormal. They said that samples contain anomalies such as constant electromagnetic interference and ionized soil cores. In fact, some people even believe that the UFO is buried deep underground and is still running, giving off electromagnetic interference, making people disappear without a trace. Somehow. Number 5. The bus to nowhere. Ever feel like you just need to get away? Well, the people who ride the bus to nowhere do, albeit even if they don't know where it is they're going. That's because Philadelphia's legendary Phantom bus never shows a route or a destination, it just drives. The bus has been spotted all around the city, and some claim to have seen it in other cities too, appearing as a otherwise perfectly ordinary bus. But don't be in a hurry to start looking for fare prices. The bus's passengers are exclusively those who found themselves at a low point in their life and who want to get away from whatever hard time it is they're going through. When on the bus, the hopeless passengers ride around for hours, days, weeks, even years.
What?
Once the passenger is ready to face the world again, they may get off.
Wow.
Many passengers who survive the ride report not remembering the driver, even if there was one, any of the passengers or any of the stops, only getting off the bus. Those riders who aren't so lucky, well, they simply continue to ride around in a state of despair. Rumour has it that one day the bus will disappear forever, taking all riders on board with it to its and their final destination. Number 4. The Candy Lady.
Final Destination. Oh, that's another movie that scared the crap out of me when I first saw it. I think I was like maybe 13 or something, and just that blue goo that would appear before someone was about to die.
Don't take candy from strangers really is sound advice. Yet it's also advice which unfortunately was ignored by children in a rural town just outside Dallas in Texas in the 1900s. This was the time during which children in the town started going missing. The primary suspect, the Candy Lady. This legend goes that children would wake in the morning to find candy sitting on their windowsills. The candy would have notes on the wrappers which would ask the children to come out and play, notes which were signed the Candy Lady. And over the span of about a decade, a handful of kids went missing in the small town. In fact, again, according to legend, a farmer was said to have found rotten teeth on his farm before later finding a body of a small boy with his pockets stuffed with candy. As children in the town started to get a little older, they started to come forward and tell of the Candy Lady's antics. Once this new information surfaced, it said that a police officer started investigating the disappearance of the children, and a few weeks later, his body was found in a ditch with his pockets filled with candy. Now, is there any evidence of this actually happening? No, but it's a hell of a story and a hell of an urban legend. Number 3.
I mean, surely one of the first things you teach, your kids is don't talk to strangers. Don't take anything from strangers. Don't take candy. Just get that into their heads just so that, these kind of situations, if they're real, just don't happen to you or your children. Ugh.
The Goat Man of Pope Lick. Goat men make frequent appearances in urban legends, even those dating as far back as ancient Greece. But out of all of these stories of goat-like humanoids, perhaps the most famous in America is the weirdly named Pope Lick monster. The monster is named after the
Lick
railroad over Pope Lick Creek in Kentucky, where it's most often sighted. No one really knows the origins of the Goat Man. One theory speculates that the derailment of a circus train which was carrying the Goat Man as its star attraction led to the creature's escape. Meanwhile, another assumes that the Goat Man is the product of a satanic magic ritual performed by a local farmer upon his livestock. Either way, the monster is said to use hypnosis or mimic the voice of friends to lure its victims onto the railroad bridge and in front of oncoming trains. Whether or not this really happens, well, we're not sure. But the legend of the Goat Man has in fact truly been responsible for a number of deaths on the railroad running over Pope Lick Creek. While actively looking for the urban legend, a woman was killed by an oncoming train as recently as 2016.
No! Oh my god. Could she not hear the train coming? Like, trains are pretty loud.
Number 2. The Curse of the Escalante Petrified Forest. Anyone who takes anything from a national monument is breaking the law. Naughty, naughty people. But those who remove some of the petrified wood from Utah's Escalante Petrified Forest State Park, well, they risk something equally as petrifying as the name suggests, a so-called ancient curse. Within the petrified forest are fossilized remains of giant trees that fell millions of years ago and became, well, petrified. It's a process that usually results in a quartz mineralization of the wood. Put simply, that makes the wood of some value. Since 1935, visitors to the petrified forest began to report that after taking some of the petrified wood from the park, they seemed to experience a lot of bad luck. In fact, the park's manager confessed in 2014 that every year he gets about a dozen packages returning the stolen piece of wood and an apologetic letter.
Wow, really? People send the wood back?
Outlining the sender's bad luck and pleading for forgiveness. Instances of misfortune have ranged from being divorced to being jailed and from medical conditions to being made redundant. All for a bit of wood. Is it really worth it?
No.
Number 1. The Hollywood Sign Spirit. For anyone adventuring to Los Angeles, a selfie at the cultural icon that overlooks La La Land is an absolute must. Yet few actually know about the deadly past that surrounds the Hollywood sign. It all started with the death of 20th century actress Peg Entwistle. In an extremely unfortunate turn of events, the story goes that when a poor review was published about one of her films, the actress climbed to the top of the sign's H and threw herself off it. Now known as the Lady in White, her ghost is said to have a skeletal face, deep hollowed out eyes, and wear a white dress, haunting the sign and the area where she died. Several people have reported seeing a woman standing on top of the letter H on the Hollywood sign. In fact, she seems so real that some have even called the police out of fear that she could jump. Others claim that they did actually witness her jump, but she disappeared before she hit the ground. Fans of the paranormal now have a theory that the actress is now stuck forever in her final moments where she continues to repeat the walk to her fate. Is it real? Probably not, but it's a creepy reminder of the toll Hollywood can take on a person. So that was 10 creepy urban myths from around America.
Man, yeah, just watching videos like that always, without fails, give me like the heebie-jeebies. It's just the last one with the actress, you know, potentially being trapped like around that Hollywood sign. The thought of that, you know, for eternity is just a horrible thought. But really fascinating list. Stuff like this really tickles my interest. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.